Yo, 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 yo. What's up? It's the Don't Get Tricked podcast, and it's your boy, Big Lee.
And it's your girl, Drea.
This is a show by way of showiepics.com. How y'all doing?
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Hey, Drea Show. How y'all doing today?
You first, ladies first.
We good. I'm good. Hanging out.
I've been under the weather, man. I don't know if it was traveling or what. I almost forgot what time it was.
Oh, well, I'm glad you joined us. We got a special podcast. We got our special guest coming all the way from the sticks, Canada, or up north.
We got Drake.
We got Drake.
You stepping your guest up.
Oh yeah, it's the closest thing to Drake out there in Toronto. We got a relationship and dating expert. She gives advice on it, and we are pleased to have her. I'm gonna bring her on right now so she could tell us about herself. Hello, Sherri. How you doing?
Welcome.
Hi. Thanks for having me. Hello. I'm Sherri. So thanks for the little introduction there. Yes, I'm from Toronto, and I am a relationship and dating educator. So I use my platform to spark discussion about sexual intimacy and relationships, and I'm super excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you.
Definitely.
We definitely appreciate it, and we are very interested in the conversation. And I talked to my co-hosts and I make sure that they treat the people. What's Canada consider our little brothers or something like that? The little brothers of the north or something, But treat you well, treat you as family. You know what I mean?
I don't think she wanted to be the little brother.
Oh, little sister, little sister of the north.
Sure, I'll take little sister.
Yeah, but like I said, we appreciate having you on, and we look forward to being educated because I know Drea, she needs some education on relationships and stuff. So
yeah, I'm tired of being the only guru.
Please.
So we, and when I talked to you, we wanted to discuss dating in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm married, and even during the pandemic, obviously it changed because nobody could go out.
Mm-hmm.
I could, everything was shut down. I know Canada right now is bad, and over here in the U.S., we a lot more relaxed on the COVID stuff, even though it's still a big issue and stuff. But I can't even tell you. Besides, like we took a trip and stuff, but like going out on a date when it was just me and my wife. When the last time we actually did that, like to go to dinner or a movie or any of that stuff, because it's still pretty tough. It's still, it's like, when do you do it? And then also we got a kid, and it's like trying to find somebody to watch them and stuff, and then have that person in the home. These is a lot of different issues that come up when trying to decide. Now, that's doing it as a married person. Imagine now trying to meet somebody during this pandemic. That's got to be even tougher, or it should be at least, unless some people just like, I've been cooped up too much. I got to get out and stuff. But what are some of your opinions on it? Being in a relationship and doing it, or being single and doing it? How tough is it to do during a pandemic and meeting somebody?
I definitely think both are very, very difficult. I think people who are in a relationship or married definitely have it a lot easier because I'm sure they found different ways to become creative with, making the best of the circumstances that we're in. But I feel that people that are single are having it the worst. Based on my discussions with people that I speak like on my platform, people say like it's hard to meet people, right? There's nowhere to go out. There's nothing to do. Like in Toronto, there's no restaurants for you to go out if you want to meet someone for the first time. There's no bowling, no movies. Like there's really nothing to do. So if you are going to date, it really forces you to become creative. But I think other people are having a lot of difficulties because people are not really forcing themselves to be creative. People are kind of just resorting to meeting up at the house or like, meeting up at home. And I feel like that's not a really good way to get to know somebody the first time you're meeting someone. That's my opinion, especially if it's a stranger that you meet online, right? So it is really hard, but I think I try to kind of like put tips out there that encourage people to think of creative ways to hang out and meet people during this time.
Okay, so is it tough? You think in the past year, like what's your opinion on dating during the pandemic?
It's a good and bad to it. I mean, if you cheat, you got a built-in excuse. You can't go to too many places. Taco Bell drive. No, but I really want to take you somewhere amazing, but ain't nothing open. But nah,
I know it's a good excuse. No, I've heard that one a lot.
They're telling you the truth. They're not just lying to you. They really want to do something really nice for you. But Wendy's drive-thru is the only thing open. But no, I feel like social media has like kind of made it not that big a deal, like as far as meeting people, first of all. Because Leroy, if I'm not mistaken, you met your wife on social media, right?
You said I met my wife on POF, Plenty of Fish.
Exactly, and it's still out there, so I hear. So you got POF, you got Tinder, you got Facebook dating, all kinds of stuff, and just so you can still meet people. You just then you got to do more phone time. I feel like because you can't really meet up and all that. So you gotta be able to talk a little more, which is good because it cuts down on the awkwardness. By the time you meet each other, you do a lot of phone conversations. By the time you meet each other, everything just go pretty smooth. I feel like you know each other forever the longer you talk. That's my that's a secret dating tip. Leroy knows back in my days when we used to be college roommates, I used to talk on the phone. What you used to call it, Leroy? I was talking on the phone with girls for like 10 hours.
Hey, Jones and bro, I like let's play the video game or something. And
he used to get mad. All my female friends didn't like Leroy. He used to be in the voice in the back talking about something. Come on, man, let's play the video game. I'm like, bro, I seen you all day.
Hey, he'll go from the house to outside walking around to back in the house to put his phone on the charger and still on the phone. But now we got better technology than back, was in college and you can FaceTime and stuff. So which I think it should be harder to get catfish, but people somehow still got that show alive and getting catfish, but during the pandemic, like you might meet more people because they had to come up with different things to do online.
Well, Sherri was saying too that you don't want to meet nobody at their house for the first time. Well, I think men would rather meet you at the house for the first time, but I don't think women really want to meet you at your house for the first time.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna say probably not. So I think it's still things to do. You can go to the park, go to places where you don't got to wear the face mask all day. I mean, you still supposed to wear it, but I mean, if it's just get some open space, just you and a person off to the side, just somewhere you can talk. But I think you need to build that bond through the phone first nowadays and in this time. That's how I feel about it. But
Drea, what you think about it?
I think you need to be in person with the person, one-on-one. I want to see how you are because the phone can hide you, the internet can hide you. You can be, what I say is you can go and you can be anybody you want behind a keyboard. Behind a keyboard and behind a phone. You can be any person you want. Like, no, I need to be in front of you. I need to see how you move, how you operate. So it don't be no surprises. So yeah, I'm not with the online dating and stuff.
You said basically
it's better for men. By the time we meet you, we hope you like us so much that you just overlook some stuff.
I feel
I need to see it all, so I need to see in person.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel that it kind of gives like women an opportunity to see how creative a man is willing to be. in order to get to know you, or in order to, I guess, woo you or get you interested in him, because now he can't just take you to an expensive restaurant and then impress you with the environment and all of the theatrics. You know, he really has to come and put his best self forward to try to woo you, whether it's like being creative and saying, hey, let's go for a picnic, let's sit outside, let's go for ice cream. Like, you know, whereas like before, I think like when I was dating before, I think a lot of guys would like to like take me to expensive restaurants and like put me in like different situations where I felt like I didn't really get a chance to know them. I was more like impressed by the environment. But you really have to just come with yourself at this point. There's no extra like environmental factors that can make you kind of like get confused or like misguided of whether you really like this guy or not. So I feel like it puts an extra challenge on the guy, and I guess it gives women an opportunity to really see if that man likes her.
So you actually getting to know the person more, you feel now, than before. Is like, well, I know what you can bring in terms of financially, probably, like I said, getting to nice restaurants. Now, because it's like we can't go out, it's like you got to actually conversate, get to know this, you know, and that, to me, that might be better, you know, because at least I get to know who you are and see all your ugly truths up front. Hopefully,
exactly.
You know.
Well, you be speaking from the woman's point of view. Men use that money for a cheat code. You're supposed to be from them knowing who you is by putting the chandeliers and the nice steaks and stuff in front of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, but there's some men that could talk, you know, and like I said, you could do the cheat code and have, you know, spend it, all of this, but I know you, Show, and you talk, like I say, if you're talking to someone for 10 hours, they hook. That means like
get married.
Y'all get a deep connection, you know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be just dead air if you're on the phone for 10 hours. At least I think so.
I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about regular men.
Yeah, so, but like Sherri and Drea, you know, are both younger. I would, the generation now would embrace like the online stuff more. Is that true? Then the older people probably like, nah, it's like they're against it, you know, because it's like, me personally, I'm all for it, and I champion it. Like I said, I met my wife on a dating app, but I know older people like, nah, I am not doing that. Especially females. Females, they're like, nah, I need to meet a guy. You got to be in person. I can't be swiping right, or you know, I get all these inappropriate messages and stuff. Y'all give me your thoughts on, you know, the online stuff for the younger generation, embracing it or not embracing it?
I think it definitely has its positives. Okay, Drea, you go ahead.
Well, see me, I'm against the online dating. I like I said, I need to see you in person. I wanna like be connected to you. I wanna go out and be like, oh, it's a thing between us or whatever. Or I wanna see a guy and be like, oh dang, he handsome. Let me try to get him. Like when like I said, once it's on the dating app, it's like you can hide certain things about yourself. You can do all this stuff and you can, like, I just want to see you in person. I don't want to go off of no online dating. I don't have the patience to sit on
what about
online
dating,
though? Huh?
What about just meeting them and then after that y'all can do all that in person? Like
that's
you can't.
What I'm saying. I don't want to meet.
Oh, you don't want to meet them at all.
Time to meet nobody on no. I don't want to meet them on online dating. I want to meet them in person because you know, when you can feel something in your body when you see somebody in person and be like, oh, I think like y'all get to talking in person and stuff.
Feel that in their body
like,
when they see the pictures too.
Nah, I don't feel nothing. I'm like, I tried to go on there to see if it's something that would be like interesting to me, but I just don't have the patience for it. And I don't, honestly, it's a no for me.
I personally, I'm not too against online dating. It just depends on the platform. Like, I'm not a person that's going to sign up for like Plenty of Fish or like any of the apps where you have to swipe right. I feel like it's a little bit impersonal, but I feel like Instagram, there's ways to create like deeper connections with people prior to meeting them in person. So I'm okay with meeting someone off of Instagram or Facebook, but I don't want to engage with them on that platform for too long. Like, I want to just use that as a means to get to know you off the bat, and then see you in person, and we continue the relationship from there. Of course, I do prefer meeting someone genuinely in person, like Drea said. But it's very hard for people like women in Toronto to be approached by men in Toronto. Like a lot of Toronto women complain about Toronto men saying that they're not as brave and they're a little bit afraid of like approaching women. And I can attest to that because like traveling in the States, I mean, obviously not everyone in the States is the same, but visiting a variety of different American cities, I find American men more aggressive. Like they will see you on the street, they'll compliment you, they'll say you're beautiful, like they'll just ask you how your day was, just spark genuine conversation. Whereas in Toronto, like a man will just look at you and he'll show you interest with his eyes, but he'll never talk to you. And you just don't kind of have that communication type vibe when you're in Toronto. So it's really difficult for women to approach here. So I think a lot of people in Toronto do rely on like social media or online dating apps to meet people. But I mean, in person is always preferred, but I don't see any problem with interacting with people on various apps for short term.
Okay, and how would you like educate like someone that's, you know, maybe they have anxiety on meeting people in person like during this pandemic, or you know, if they feel, you know, they want to get out there because obviously, you know, you got that cabin fever that you stuck in the house and it's like, I need to get out and meet people, stuff. How would you advise them, you know, or educate them in terms of moving forward and breaking that barrier?
So people that want to meet people in person, but there's like this barrier due to the pandemic.
Yeah, like in terms of like how like what's some like first step you like, hey, you know, just go out to a bar. Like I said, I know in Canada things is a little stricter, so it's tight stuff. But what's some suggestions you give to people that's ready to, you know, meet people during this time?
I would say definitely there's a lot of different events that are occurring now on Zoom and online, different platforms. So like, of course, there's like online, there is like just different events where you can like socialize with people. So I feel like those are ways to actually meet people online, but deeper connection with the person through conversing with them, right? And then from there you can connect with them and decide to meet them in person if you feel comfortable with doing that. But I personally advocate for meeting people on Instagram as well. Again, with that short-term connection, because Instagram, I think you get to know a lot more about the person based on what they post. You can connect with them based on what they post on their story. Like, you know, you can say, wow, I really resonate with that meme or that quote you put, and you can actually have a conversation with them about what they post. So I feel like it is a little bit more personal than the dating app. And yeah, so I would say like just use any type of social media that you already have going for you, and then if you're brave enough, like put the effort into meeting that person in person to see if it goes somewhere.
Okay, yeah. All right, and if that all fails, you know, just stay in the house and and watch TV.
If you're okay with breaking the rules and going out regardless, even though we're supposed to stay home, like, I mean, a lot of people have small like house gatherings and like small like, you know, parties with their friends under 10 people. Like, people are still doing things, so like try to go out with your friends and, you know, go to a park, walk around, or just get outside. Just by getting outside, you can still meet people. People are still outside, even though restaurants and like different like entertainment activities are not available. People are still bike riding, taking walks outside, like walking by the beach. So there's still opportunities to meet people all the time.
Well, you're from Toronto, so you still appreciate men walking up to women and talking to them. A lot of women don't like that no more. It's called annoying them.
Really? What, in the States? Because we would love that over here. Like, I remember Caravana, all the girls would love Caravana because the Americans would come to Toronto and we're like, oh my gosh, we need to find ourselves an American guy, because the Americans would actually approach us. Like, in Toronto, the guys do not approach women. So women are forced to, walk up and approach men, or they just have to wait for men to approach them over social media, because it seems like Toronto men only have girls when they're on social media. No offense. No offense to Toronto men. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Drea, when before you was married, did you still was you one of those women that get agitated when men walk up to you, or did it depend on what kind of man? You just get agitated when the wrong man walks up?
No. I think it's cute. So whether whether I'm gonna give you play or not, it was just still the balls and the courage of you walking up to me, talk to me, giving me that attention.
Mm-hmm. Victoria said, American men often take themselves too aggressively. I can attest to that too. I feel that I have had American men that like, I appreciate the gesture of approaching me, but sometimes they're like a little bit too aggressive, commenting on my body and, making it a little bit too much if I'm not interested. So it just depends on how you go about it. Like, I prefer like a genuine conversation, try to get to get to genuinely know me, not just commenting on my physical appearance, and we can go from there. But yeah, I just think you have to be mindful about how you approach the woman when you're approaching a person.
Yeah, and with that, hold on. With that, we want to welcome everyone that's been tuning in and commenting so far. I know Ricky Johnson, he says it wasn't tough for him dating during the pandemic. So just reading some of these, Victoria also had dating apps are annoying AF to me. I tried for 2 weeks, all that small talk and trying to be polite when I could tell there's no chemistry pretty quickly. Easier to do that organically. So just wanted to touch on that and welcome y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube page, Don't Get Tricked Podcast. Like, share, and comment. And we have our special guest all the way from Toronto, Sherri, with us. And we're discussing dating during the pandemic. And like I said, for me, I can't tell you the last time I done traveled, we went on a couples trip. So I would say that might have been what we was doing during the pandemic, especially when it was at its highest. We were doing date nights, game nights. So, but it's still not like an intimate thing between me and my wife and going out and having, let's go out to dinner at this restaurant. We still haven't did that since. But with friends, to get, enjoy ourselves and stuff, we will have game nights and different things as married couples, and that helped pass the time when we were off work and wanted to, still have a drink and then enjoy ourselves. So for married couples or people in relationships, if you still don't feel like going out into the public, I say to have game night with your friends, other couples. If you are into traveling, travel, with other couples and just enjoy, with a tight circle that you have, and that could be ways of enjoying yourself as a married man. At least my thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to comment on a topic when Sherri was saying IG is good, like social media like that. I think it's a flip side to why it's good too. Besides getting to see what other people post, I think it's good to see how other people interact with that person. See, like how do people think about that person? Like, are they friendly? Are they even a real person? Because like you said, catfishing. If you friends with them on IG, you'll see they've been interacting and people actually really know them in real life and things of that nature. Like, so it serves a lot of good purposes. You feel like, and people post and do so much, you can learn a lot about where they like to go. They thought, the kind of things they say. So I think social media is definitely like the biggest tool to use during this time. And living regular life, going to Walmart, you can always bump into women, you can always bump into men. It's always, life's still going on. You still got to go to the supermarket. You still got to walk your kids. People still got things to do. As long as there's people outside, you can meet somebody. Shouldn't be hard.
Yep. And we got to transition because I know Sherri had a few questions. Like, so you meet people during the pandemic, and let's say things progress. I know, like, so me and Sherri, we talked off air, and I told her, like, I'm married and stuff. So is the younger generation following that path of getting married, and what does it take to get married? Is that the basis of what we was talking about, Sherri?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about like just the struggles of dating for a lot of young people. Like I really can only speak about like the people in my kind of social circle and in my network. But all of us are kind of struggling with kind of like reaching for marriage. Marriage is something that is kind of seeming less and less attainable for a lot of young people because for some reason we're not able to sustain like connections with people. You go on dates with people and then, within a couple of weeks, they ghost you or they say they're not interested. And even when you get past that step and you start dating, a lot of the relationships are ending after a year or two. So I kind of just had some questions for you as a married man. How did you sustain your relationship with your now wife? Do you have any like recommendations for young people of how they can kind of like prolong and make stronger long-term connections with people that they're dating?
So I got married at age 35. So when I was younger, was I really thinking about marriage? Not at that point, So I think it's one of those that you let it go and let it flow. Don't be trying to rush it and end up settling. Like I said, I did some. I know you had a thing on women self-sabotaging, and some of the stuff like I researched on that was like women settling for something that's available and interested in them. So with if you do that and then that's not what you want, but you settled and then you're married and then you end up unhappy and then it ends up in divorce. So all you do is you enjoy the now. To me, my point of view, my personal opinion, you enjoy the now and let life continue. And if that person is still there, you take the next steps within a relationship. My marriage and stuff went quick. It wasn't. We were engaged on September 1st and married by September 23rd.
Jeez.
It was quick, but I've been, talking to her for a few years, and then it was a point of I knew I wanted to spend my life with her, so it's like we're in the process of having a kid. I had a whole plan of asking her to marry me in Dominican Republic on our. It was like a baby moon at the time. It would have been, but it was like, well, if I plan to marry you, it's one of those like, why wait? If that's my ultimate goal, and we both felt that, and like I said, I was engaged the first, married by the 23rd. So my thing is, when I was 26, and I'm not sure your age, but when I was younger, I wasn't thinking about marriage, and as I got older, I didn't know if I was gonna get married. But it was something that I wanted to do. And I don't even know if it was like a wedding type thing, but I like the party and get together with friends and family and not just during death, so I wanted that aspect and then have someone that I could share that with my friends and family. And so that's I don't know, Drea, what you have on that? Because Drea is actually, a little younger than me, a lot younger than me. But what's your thought on, you know, you getting married, how to get to that point that you wanted to get to, and sustaining it through the years?
So I just I've always been the type of person that once I get into a relationship, I know what I want. Before I get into a relationship, I know what I'm expecting from a dude. So it was one of those things like once I met my husband, I pretty much told him my goals and my dreams. We built off of that. We went. I mean, he fulfilled every one of my dreams, including me becoming a wife. Um, and I mean, like Lee said, we take it day by day. Um, you know, we have been together for going 4 years this year, and we've been married for going on 2 years. Come August, so we've been, you know, taking it as it comes. You know, we have our ups and downs like any other relationship. But the goal is to keep fighting and working, talking. I mean, you get mad at each other. That don't mean run and get a divorce. That just means give each other some room and come back to it the next day. Like, you know, let you breathe or whatever. I know a lot of people nowadays. They say, you know, we don't our marriages don't last as long because we just so quick to give up on our husbands. Like back then, our grandparents, like our grandmothers, let's speak for the grandmothers, they took a bunch of crap from these granddaddies, like from the cheating and all that other extra stuff. So we don't do that. Like nowadays, I feel like us women or our generation, like once something happened, you ready to leave. And I tell everybody, they was like, you know, they ask me about marriage advice. I'm like, you know, it's like a relationship. You just gotta don't think that y'all married. Just keep living the life as if y'all was, you know, in a relationship, and take it step by step. So.
So I have a question for Lee. So Lee, when you met your wife, did you already know that you wanted to get married at that time, or was it through being with her you then started to develop that desire to get married?
When I met my wife, marriage was the last thing on my mind. My mind, I keep it 100. You know, always keep it straight. Anytime I meet someone, I'm thinking I'm trying to get with them sexually first, and then relationships progress throughout that. And it was more about having fun. She was having fun with me. I was having fun with her. And then, like I said, after years of doing that, you know, at some point it clicked where it's like, okay, let's continue. And then I was like, and I always told her, you know, like, hey, you're gonna be the one. You know, this is inevitable. You can't deny this. But I've tried to do the let's be friends first thing, but like when I think of like I'm trying to get, you know, goal, like I'm trying to get with them. You know, I don't know if that comes off, you know, crazy, but that I think most men think like that is you know, the physical first and then stuff progresses after. And that's how I thought, and most relationships I've been in end up like that. It's actually when I try to go to be friends first, it don't turn out well.
You end up a friend for life.
They might look at me as like a sucker, and then they put me in that friend zone, like yeah. Like, and then once you're in the friend zone, it's like, yeah, I wasn't there, but I wasn't trying to be in the friend zone, but now I'm here and stuff and can't get out. Like I'm trying to break.
Now you got to steal their wallet so they know you ain't a nice guy.
Yeah. So, but that's how it was. It was something that ended up progressing, and then at some point it hit like you know, just like, nah, I want to be with you. You know, I enjoy myself when I'm with you. Things are fun. We have fun. Yeah, we just, you know, it wasn't like real serious, but we have a good time. We go travel together, and like I said, and I'll tell you the story real quick because me and my wife, we went to Jamaica a month after I met her. I was like, yo, let's go to Jamaica. You know, that's where, you know, the money come in that Show was talking about, you know, you splurge, you know. But so I'm like, yo, let's go to Jamaica. But Jamaica everything wasn't good. And then after Jamaica, we stopped talking. But then, you know, I'm like, I wanted to be the one to break up, but she's the one that ghosted me. But I'm like, boom, send flowers to her job. Then next thing you know, we get back in contact.
You never tell me all that.
Yeah, once we got back in contact, it was like, well, let me also try to be friends with her and not just have it be physical and having fun. Let me try to get to know her. And now when we traveled, some of my friends was around, and how was it around, you know, hanging with friends and stuff like that. So like I said, that's my story on me and my wife. She probably didn't think I put too much of our personal stuff out there, but like I said,
tell her don't
I tell her don't get tricked. Yeah, so Show, you could go and tell us a scenario.
My thoughts on marriage. No, but I always say, like, going back to Ali, I always say it's two ways guys end up getting married, and I feel like one of the ways is if you've been done wrong by a certain woman or a certain type of woman that you used to trying to get, and then after that you make up your mind, you like, I'm gonna find this kind of woman and I'm gonna marry her. Like, you off that other kind of woman. And then I always think it's the first thing more likely where when guys get married quick, I used to think that they overachieve. Like, I think a man gives in when he feels he met his match. Like when he know he can't do no better, or he not sure if he can get another girl like that again. Like, okay, I kind of overachieved a little bit. Let me hurry up and lock her down before she realized she probably shouldn't be here. But I think that's when guys, like, when a guy quick to not leave, of course, but I'm talking about most guys. I used to always tell my friends, because they'd be like, I wonder what make guys like meet a girl and then propose in a month or two. Or I was like, you know, your whole life, and you know, if you've been dealing with girls on this level and you kind of lucked up, somebody likes you on that level, you like, let me hurry up and propose. I think other guys are slower to get there because maybe they had one too many girls, and they always feel like they can do a little better. Like, no matter how good the girl is, they'll wait a little bit, like, is this the max woman I could get? Like, it's probably Beyonce might be around the corner next week, or maybe Rihanna, you know, I'm in studio with her or something. I don't know. People got, like, you always got this look in your head that you're gonna find another level of woman. And so you kind of keep, like, I know me personally too. I'm one of them people, like, if you do anything wrong to me, which is messed up, I know there's a flaw to me, it resets. Like, if I was with you for like a year and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get married. You can do one little thing. Like, you can have a text come across your phone, and I don't even know if it was a good text or a bad text. It was just a man's name. I'm restarting from zero. Like, I don't trust you at all again. All the way up, like, it's gonna take 2 years again before I even think of that. Like, I'm like,
no, I'm like that too.
That's kind of how I am. I ain't gonna lie with that. Like, you can't do nothing to me because it'll reset. Like, I'll never get past that moment until I'm like all the way over. That's how you end up as old, not married.
Sherri, what does it take for someone at your age? Like, do you think there's like a clock on getting married, or, you know, like around your friends, do you have to talk about like, oh, I need to be married by this certain age, or this is how? Because, you know, I know women more, you know, focused on like, oh, I got a dream wedding, or I got a date. I need to be married by this date. I need to start having kids by this. I can't have kids after this age, or this and that. So what's like your thought process on that?
So yeah, I do agree with that. I do feel like women, they feel like they have a biological clock, which we kind of do, you know, around the 30s. Biologically, your ability to have children does decline as you get older. So women do feel that pressure biologically, and I think socially too, like, you know, expectations from family members and other friends. You know, you might have friends that already have kids, and, you know, family members that are pressuring you, like asking you when you're going to get married and have kids. So it is a lot of pressure for women, but I just think that it just depends on the woman, to be honest, because I've never really had that pressure of like getting married per se. Like, I've kind of found myself thinking about when I'm going to have kids, but not really getting married because marriage was not really a thing in my family. So I don't feel like I have any outside pressures reminding me the importance of marriage. Like it's just never been something that I've seen in my parents, or like they never got remarried to other people. Like it just was never something I grew up with. So I don't feel the pressures of marriage, but I do feel the pressures of having kids. I know a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I socialize with, they do have similar pressures, but it's not the same for men. Like men are chilling. Like men are not really pressed that much to have kids based on my experience or get married. They kind of just go with like when it feels right. Whereas women are kind of like even at that point where they might even get married to someone or have kids with someone that's not even the one for them, simply because they feel like they're getting too old.
Right.
It really sucks, you know? So it is a very real thing that women are experiencing for sure.
Yeah. Drea, you got anything on that?
I'm just gonna say like, yeah, I I agree with everyone else about not rushing into it, and you know, just like you said, like I read one of the comments said you don't want to rush into it. You don't want to rush into marriage because you want to only be married one time. I'm pretty sure that's like everybody's goal, but unfortunately, some things don't never work out like that. Some people have to go through that marriage to find the right one or something. I think everything happens for a reason. So I feel like they had to go through that bad marriage in order to find the one in that good marriage. But hopefully, me and you, Lee, we stay married to this one person the entire time, the rest of our lives, right, Lee?
I don't know. My wife, I think she got the papers on email to send to me whenever she's ready. But yeah, the goal is obviously one time. A lot of people that don't, not reality, unfortunately, that is a lot of divorce rate is pretty high. So Sherri, marriage isn't a goal for you, more of like, because there's some people that look at marriage as just a bad contract, and I want to go up to for real, like it's like a bad contract. That's what some people do. It's like you're like, yo, I get married, I got a guy that I work with. He got divorced and been paying his wife alimony for 20 years, and he's like 70 something years old right now, hasn't retired because he,
Broke up with a woman.
yeah, because he broke up with a woman and got married to her, so that was a bad contract, and stuff. But Victoria had a good question. What do you think the biggest difference when you shift from living together into being married? And honestly, it's just what basically now you own everything that person had, you own too. So whatever debt you're in, whatever financial stuff they have, it's no difference in terms of when you live in like me and my wife actually didn't live together for like the first 3 months we were married because she was working in a different city. So when she's pregnant, instead of trying to commute back and forth, it didn't make sense. So once she had the baby is when we basically finally moved together. But nothing really changed in terms of what we did in terms of how our relationship was, but it was more that, like I said, now I own what she owns what I own. If something happened to her, I got to make sure she's okay even more. But it's just a title. So what y'all think on what?
Pretty much.
Said?
Hold on, somebody was asking Sherri a question. They got a little spicy with her. You might want to get that, Sherri.
Oh, okay. Chris said, Sherri, if married, are you still sabotaging your relationship? I don't think so. I don't feel like, so a year or two ago, I don't feel like marriage was a goal. It's just never been something that I saw as something that I need to check off of my goal list. Am I against marriage? No. If I'm in a relationship with someone I feel like I really care about and I see it, the potential for a long-term partnership and I see the benefits of it for my life and for theirs, I'm definitely open to getting married. But it's just never been something that I've been aspiring to have. Like a lot of women where they're like looking for this fairy tale wedding and it's one of their bucket list things that they need to check off. It's never been something that I've seen like that. But if it does happen naturally, I'm definitely down for it. But it's not something that I'm working towards or like actively out here seeking, looking for men to like marry me eventually. That is not my purpose for sure.
So when you enter into a relationship, once you pass the talking stage, you enter like the relationship. Do you think about the end goal or do you just live in the moment?
I live in the moment. If I like them, I will enjoy their company. I don't like to have like a lot of expectations and, kind of like just be thinking about marriage. I feel like when you think too much into the future, you neglect the present moment and you neglect your ability to just like really connect with the person. I'd rather just like connect with them then and there. And if it's worth building, we continue to build into the future. And then once it gets to a point, like you were saying, Lee, like you said, like when you were with your wife, it was just like you were enjoying each other's company at first. And then you just said, you know what, like we built to this point, like let's get married. Like, then it became that. Like a lot of women get into relationships and they're like, so are you trying to marry me or not? No? Okay, I'm not. I don't want to waste my time, which is, it's not a totally bad thing to do. Women can be out here wasting their time, but you kind of have to find that medium between like knowing what you want so much and like expecting that from the guy in the beginning and also like going with the flow type thing. So I'm more on the end of going with the flow, and if it's worth pursuing to that point of marriage, then I will. But if it's not, I'm not going to put in the relationship or the man to feel like obligated to marry me if he's going to date me. Because it takes a while to get to know someone, right? I feel like it's more important to get to know someone first and then decide if that person you want to marry them. Because I don't want to marry every guy that I date. Like I want to get to know that guy, and if he's good enough, then he can be my husband.
I'm glad you said that because, I remember going back all the way to Blackplanet, like when Blackplanet.com used to be up, and you'll meet a girl and you'll say a message. They'll be like, so why are you on here? What you looking for? They used to always ask what you looking for. And I'm sure it's still going on Tinder and POF. That's like a big question. And you tell them the truth. You're like, I'm looking for pretty women. Like, that's why I'm on here. I have no other reason to be on here. Once I meet a pretty woman, where it goes from there, it goes. So it's like, I'm not for or against anything. We can get married, or it can end in this message right here. Like I'm not for or against anything. And when you tell them that, they be like, oh, you just. I'm like, what? Like, what's the truth? Like, you think I'm on here and you speak one time and then I want to get married? Like, I don't know where I'm going from here. I don't even know you yet. Like, it depends on. I'm just on here to meet somebody that's attractive, and then if we vibe, then it goes where it goes. But it seems like women don't want to hear that. So I'm glad you said what you said. How you just rather go see where it goes from there. You have no expectation. Because they want you to say, like, oh, I'm looking for a wife to get married and this is that. Obviously, if it goes that far, that's where it goes. Like, you can't just go looking for wives.
Joey, when you say that, like, I agree with, like, kind of the thoughts that women have when men say, oh, I'm trying to go with the flow. Like, when men say going with the flow, it kind of sounds negative. Like, it sounds like, the man is trying to just, like, enjoy your time, have sex with you for now, and then he might possibly try to marry you, but probably not. Like, it seems like very unlikely when a man says, let's go with the flow and have fun, and I'll decide later. So yeah, I do see women looking at that and saying like, like red
you
flag.
Can't use that kind of combination. You can't say let's go with the flow and have fun. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And when I think, go ahead, Dre.
I think for me, like it got to a point when I got to a certain age, it was like, okay, I'm not dating just for fun anymore. It's like I get into a relationship. If I don't see me with you long term, then it's bye. Like, don't waste my time. I actually, for me, I guess it was like, I would say a goal, but it was like, I knew I wasn't playing around no more. I don't want to play house. I want to, actually have that family in that house and stuff. So if I didn't see myself with you long term, you was wasting my time. So it was no need for us to even take it there because I'm not just trying to have fun or see where it goes. I wanted to actually get somewhere. So.
But in that first, you understand though, in that first sentence, that's not kind of aggressive. Like a guy meets you, they like, oh, she looks cute. You're like, hey, how you doing? They're like, so what you want out of this? And you're like, oh, I'm just going ahead, seeing if I catch a vibe. I don't want a vibe. I want to get married. I'm like, well, do you want to get married right now? Like, we got a vibe first. You still got to talk. You don't got to. You scaring me.
You don't say it like that.
Okay.
No, you don't say it like that. When they ask you what you want, you just let them know simply, like, I'm looking for someone that wants the same thing that I want, and that's just to have a family and get married later on down the line. I mean, it ain't. You're not gonna say, of course, I just want to be married, and that ain't how we talk out here to guys.
That ain't how you talk to guys.
I agree with Drea. Like it's okay for a woman or a man to say like they see marriage and a family in their future. It doesn't mean particularly that it's going to be with you. It's just something that they might be seeing for their future. So I think that's okay. You could still go with the flow and allow that opportunity to get to know that person. And it doesn't mean that person is going to be your future husband or wife, but it just means that in the future you hope to get married eventually.
I think going with the flow has a bad connotation. I used to always try to elaborate, and I used to say I don't like looking for nothing because when you look, you make things into something that it's not. Like if I'm looking for a wife and then I meet you, I'm going to be like forcing you to be a wife. So I'm going to be overlooking your qualities, and you do one good thing, you make a good biscuit, and I'll be like, oh, that's a wife. Let me marry her. Then I find out, So I'm like, I just feel like when you're looking for things, that's how you rush into stuff and you make, not saying, not even looking, I feel like you try to make something more than what it is. Some people are just having fun. And then if you're looking for a wife or you're looking for a husband and somebody like just cuddles you real nice, you're like, oh, I love him. It's like, because you're looking for, your mind's already there. I think you should just, when somebody seems like a good husband, then they should be able to be one. Like, that's all I say, not looking for nothing. Not saying I'm blocking it.
So it does not go that way. It does not go like that, though.
Man, I'm trying. I'm trying, man.
Just because they're calling us and they treating us like that's that time. It does not. Oh, we want that person to be our husband. No, it does not go like that. It is more qualifications for them to be considered as a husband.
Okay, so if you really like, I'm gonna challenge you on that because when you're really into a guy, how you said you meet him and they have that spark. When you meet him in person and they have that spark. When you're already sparking with a guy, I know women, so I'm gonna look right at you in the camera right there. So when you have that spark and you're already
looking at you.
Yeah, I see. Oh, the rest of y'all too. Now, when you're looking at somebody and you got that spark and then they funny and they charming and then you go chill with them for the first time and y'all watching Power together and you lay across his lap and he rubbing your back, don't act like you unable to get all mushy and fall in love with him real quick because Leroy will tell you back in college, he used to have girls tell him he loved them after the first phone conversation, after he do the long talks all night. What was one of us, me or him? But that was one. I know girls can fall in love real quick.
No, I don't know what girls you're talking about. That must be up north where y'all from, because no girls is gonna be doing like falling in love after no first. Oh, you treating me nice and stuff like. I mean, unless they not used to it, unless they used to somebody dogging them out every time in a relationship, so they not used to that person. But I'm expecting that, and I'm not falling in love.
When the person treat you nice.
I feel like there's girls that do, they do really like a guy after, those things. He'll say, all these little words, type rub the back, whatever, like you just said, Sherri. Like, I feel like women do like those things, but I feel like it's important for women. I don't think all women are doing this, but I think it's important for women to kind of be able to differentiate, like, good qualities in terms of that guy's like very expensive with his love, he's very nice to you, versus like this guy's worth becoming a husband. Like, husband qualities are totally different than, oh, he can just rub my back, rub my feet, and kiss me on the cheek. Like, nah, like, can you help me build a home? Can you help me take care of these kids? Are you going to have me on my worst days? Like, that's what I'm trying to see. I'm not trying to see, can you rub my feet and my back? Are you good at sex? Do you talk sweet? Like, that is like, that's enough to like you and be interested. But, I'm not going to marry you. I will not accept your ring if you can't take care of this family. So, no, it's two different things.
I believe you ideally. Like, if a guy just does that, that's not enough. But if the guy you want to do it does that, I think that speeds up the process. If it's like, if you like Trey Songz and you bump into him and then he rubs your feet, you already got it in your mind. You're already almost there. So he does one little thing, you kind of blow it up. That's what women do. Y'all say all this stuff until it's the one guy you really like doing it. And that's when you call your friends, and that's when you say, oh, he's so sweet. But if a guy you don't like,
okay,
it's not going to matter.
No, Show. Okay, I think you got it confused because, yeah, we're going to love it. We're going to brag about it. We're going to do all that. Like, when I first got with my husband, he was doing all that, So, of course, I'm bragging to my friends because that's what you do. Like, girl, I got a good man. He doing this, he doing that. He's spending the check, this and that. But I never in a million years thought that I was going to, this husband of mine was going to be my husband. I just thought like, I just looked at it like, dang, he really treated me good. And especially, when I introduced him to my daughter, he was like there. I wasn't thinking, oh, he real good with my daughter. He real good with me. I need to marry this man. No, marriage wasn't on my mind.
You messed up, right?
Going, like I said, step by step.
You messed up, right? You said all of that, but yet you got his kid and you married him. And that proved my point. So when you was bragging to your friends and you was talking about the check and he rubbed your feet, now you married with his kids. You love him.
But that's because, like I said, you go step by step. So I wasn't thinking about marriage at that time, but once the relationship kept going and he kept showing me, we was living together, we was, doing that role of couples or whatever. We learned each other. Then we decided, okay, now, he decided he didn't want to lose me out of his life. So he proposed to me, okay?
So he's not a game on you. He got what he wanted to get. He got you married, barefoot, naked, and pregnant. He won that battle.
Years
well,
later.
Sherri, I feel like doing all those nice things, it's enough to get you that title of being boyfriend. But I feel like what myself and Drea are kind of saying is like all those sweet things are enough to get you boyfriend title. But like for you to elevate past that boyfriend title and to become my husband, you need to now unlock a whole other heap of different
wait.
qualities.
Why y'all acting like y'all are the ones who are hard to marry? Yes, y'all always trying to get a man to marry y'all. Why y'all acting like men are trying to unlock something so y'all can say yes?
like it's a big boss on a video game. Like
you gotta fight brother. That's that women be complaining that men ain't marrying them fast enough. I didn't know y'all was stiff arming us away.
Don't make it like that. It's not like I'm sitting here being like, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's things that I'm keeping in my head and I'm taking mental checks. But like if there's some certain guys that can't perform as a husband, so I'm not gonna make that guy a husband. Like it's just as simple as that. Like some guys are sweet and cute and they'll do the cutesy little things, rub the feet. But like a guy rubbing my feet is not gonna make a good husband. Like a husband is a totally different thing than a boyfriend.
We know you're not into rubbing like that. They'll figure out what you like. What'd you say, Drea?
To comment on what you just said, I had got proposed to 4 times. I turned down 3 of those 4 times. So just because that person's doing all this and doing all that don't mean that we're gonna say yes just because they say, hey, I want to marry you. No.
Yeah, you didn't like those guys. You ain't call your friends about them. You just told them like, yeah, this dude.
Yes, I did. They spoiled me.
You ain't like
my husband.
But you liked your husband.
No, it wasn't that I didn't like them. Just they wasn't what I was looking for.
They wasn't attractive enough.
I didn't see myself long term with them.
Was they corny? Be honest, he was corny.
No, but Sherri, I feel like it's the same thing that a lot of men, like I feel like a lot of like men that I converse with, they have the same experience with women. Like they could be with a woman, sleep with her, meet her parents, lay up in her bed, all of that for years. And then the woman's like, so are we gonna get married? And he's like, nah, like a man could still never see you as a wife, and he could break up with you, and then 3 weeks later he's like found his wife. Like, so I feel like it's the same thing. Like men could see you as good enough to be a girlfriend or good enough to pleasure them sexually, but not good enough to be the wife. And I feel like it's the same thing for women too.
Are you doing the? How much time we got left, Because I think she's about to go into a whole woman's feminist movement where it's equal. It's not equal. You're not a man, and men are not women. Y'all can't handle it like us.
Hey, let's read the comments where Lamar Putney Wolf says y'all making a strong case for arranged marriage. It seems like they don't know what they want.
It goes, yeah. You know, as far as you just saying, like, men could sleep with women forever, because we know where to keep certain people. So if we sleeping with somebody every day and we just want them for that, the moment you try to overstep that boundary or you try to change that dynamic, we'll just leave the whole situation. Like, we know, like, it's not going no further than this. And women are different. They think that if they keep sleeping with you, or if you take them on a date, or if you do this, it's going to change how you feel about them. And that's not how men work. Like, we already know when we talking to you that it's only going to go this far. If you ask to go, like, we'll take you to Checkers. If you ask to go to Outback Steakhouse, then it's over. Like, men got those kind of boundaries. Like, if we meet you and all we do is come to your house, and then one day you just out of the blue, like, we need to go on a date. A man might not call you back. It's like, why are you trying to switch up our arrangement? We're already used to how we. It's nothing against you. It's like, that's not our thing. That's not what we do. It's like you acting funny now. That's how men see it.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. And I understand what you mean about, like, you know, women are not men and women are more emotional. So it's like if we're sleeping with someone and we're, you know, in a relationship with them for a while, like it's highly likely that we're probably going to want to marry them. But it's not the case for all women. I mean, that's what women should be like, based on gender norms and all of that. And like, but like just how women are nowadays, like women are more empowered and women are more taking agency over their body, where we have a choice too. Like some women are sleeping with guys just for pleasure, and the guys are wanting more. And we're saying, nah, like look at Drea. She turned down 3 guys. Like, she's not just sitting here waiting to be a wife. Like she made the choice. Like, no, you don't get to marry me. I'm choosing who gets to marry me.
Y'all say that because y'all are good at doing that with guys you don't like. That's the difference. You know, the difference between men and women are, we don't oppose. The reason why it's not true for y'all have sex with guys for certain reasons. Either he cute, or he got a lot of money, or he's real popular. It's always something. Men don't have nothing, no reason. It could be a girl that's ugly. It could be a girl that's not built the way we like. You just got to be near us at the right time, and that's why we can be cold-hearted about the whole situation. We don't have any real attraction or any real reason why we're messing with that person. I feel like women, when y'all choose a guy to sleep with, which is why men can't forgive y'all, because when y'all choose a guy to sleep with, y'all can sleep with anybody y'all want any day of the year. So when you choose that guy, you chose him for a reason, because you could have slept with anybody. And so I think the fact that you even choosing to sleep with that guy, there's something there already. There's already some kind of spark. And if he does something the right way, it's a chance for y'all. With certain women, there's nothing they can do. They can save our life. They can pay our kids' tuition. We're not going to love that woman. We're not going to do anything. If you sleeping with a man, if you're willing to give a man your body, then you got something inside of you that likes that man. So that's why y'all can't navigate as men do. Because like if you sleep with a guy, you're going to go call your friend and say, girl, I met this man, blah, 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 blah. When men call their friend, they're like, what you do? Oh, we just hung out with this B. Like, that's how you wouldn't want to hear how men talk about most women that they just met and just slept with. Y'all seem to talk good about the person. We seem to talk down unless we meet the certain right person.
It used to be like that. It's no longer like that.
Megan Thee Stallion is poison to y'all.
We can actually sleep with a man for no reason and say, oh, I just want it. Like, we could be going through something and be like, let me.
Are you going to pick a person
and it be a person? Yeah. It could be anybody, as long as if they're like anybody said, if they're there at the time that we need it, then it's not like that. Like I literally know girls that can just sleep with anybody. Like nowadays, I don't know. Girls are different nowadays. It's not like that. We are whole. We move like men. Just like
No,
this
is what I'm saying.
Like men too.
This is what I'm saying though. The most unattractive woman could sleep with a high quality man that I know y'all be seeing guys y'all really like, and y'all be like, he's sleeping with that woman. But I never seen a man who don't get no woman sleep with like a real bad woman. You, Lee? You ever seen like a dude that men make fun of, or a guy who is considered ugly get like the finest girl in the room without any money?
Only if he has money. Only if he has money.
Yeah,
if he has money, obviously money is a game changer. I mean, that make anybody look cute.
Right.
But
so that's what I'm saying. Don't act like y'all as two attractive women and just gonna go in the crowd and pick Beetlejuice and have sex with them. It don't happen that way.
Yep.
It don't happen. You don't want to see a man's worst 5 women that he slept with. You don't want to see that look.
You don't want to see the night crawler.
No, you don't want to know your husband or boyfriend like that.
I like that everyone.
What'd you say? Y'all break it up.
I like what Butchie said. He said, indeed, that these women are becoming savages. It says the game changing. Women are indeed getting savage in these streets. Definitely, like it's totally changing.
Oh, definitely. But y'all still picking dudes y'all attracted to though.
No,
it does not mean that.
No, women are not. Women are not. It's not
that.
Women can like men for different things. Women can like men for different things, just like men can like women for different things too. Like a man could be like, wow, this girl has a fat ass, like she's nice in bed, but like she'll never be my wife. And women too. Women could be like, this guy has money, he takes me out, he makes me feel so good when we're at this amazing restaurant. That makes me feel good. I'm sleeping with him. It's fun and exciting. But this man will be like, can I be your boyfriend? And the girl will be like, nah, like you're not the boyfriend type. Like you are the guy that I want to go to the restaurant with. Then the girl might have another guy that's like, you are the one that I see as the husband. She might have another one that's like, you are the one that I have the nice laughs and giggles with and fun. So it's like,
I know that
women are categorized too. This is how the game is changing for women too. I feel like you have a very dated understanding of women that we're just sitting at home waiting for like the
No, I don't think y'all doing that at all. I know y'all not doing that. I know y'all savages. What I was saying is when women are doing that,
we can find somebody with good sex. We can find someone with good sex and be like, okay, like in public, don't talk to me because they could be ugly, but their sex is good. So, hey, let me call you over. I need sex, but in public, don't talk to me. I don't want to see. I don't want to talk. Listen, nobody can know this is going on. Okay, like we can do that.
I feel like when y'all doing that though, it's not because y'all some savage. It's because the one guy you really want don't want you back. So y'all just try to look for different personalities and different people. If y'all found the one guy that the one guy you really like, y'all were in that game.
First of all, it's not hard. First of all, it's not hard. It's not hard to get what you want. Women, I feel like we have an advantage. We can go and get literally any guy that we want. Any guy that I ever want, I got him. If I said, and guess what? I was the one that approached them if I wanted them. Like, hey, what's up? Like, it's not true. Like, oh, we can't get who we want.
No, now you say you couldn't. I said that's
can't get.
I can sleep with you.
All right. Let me referee this shit right here. Whoa.
I ain't scared of them.
Before y'all jump in my boy Show out here, you know what I mean? I know Show out here, you know, preaching and y'all about to boom.
I like to get them worked up.
And we could go on forever with this because it was a very good discussion on, but we gotta wrap it up. We want to give final thoughts on things that we talk about and able to, like I said, Sherri, we appreciate you being a part of our show, the Don't Get Tricked podcast. You're a wonderful guest, and we could actually we could have continued this on for another hour. I'm pretty sure, especially with was taking y'all trying to jump my boy.
You gotta come back. We ain't done with you.
You know, you couldn't jump my boy out here, and I'm just sitting back here like, you know, observing and reporting. But we want to give a final thought, and we're gonna go first. We're gonna go Sherri. Like I said, thank you for joining us on the Don't Get Tricked podcast. Give your final thoughts on everything we discussed and how people could get in contact with you, you know, so they could be educated on relationships and dating going forward.
Yeah, so my final thoughts, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for having me. It was a really great discussion. And I feel like I learned a lot from everyone's perspective. And in terms of dating during the pandemic, like put yourself out there, do what you need to do to, you know, meet people. You know, there are opportunities to meet people online, in person. You just have to put that extra effort in now that we're kind of in a pandemic. So if you want to connect with me and, you know, join my conversation on my platform, my Instagram is @Top. And yeah, we can connect there. I have different workshops that I host for women. I have conversations where like I just engage people in conversations about sex, love, intimacy, and relationships. And I share a variety of dating and relationship tips too, so you can tune in there. Thank you.
Go ahead, Drea.
I just want to start off by saying,
Drea, go ahead.
I just want to first start off by saying, Show, you need to upgrade the girls you talking to, because I don't know where you can find them at. Secondly, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I just want to say, ladies, don't get tricked, okay? This is 2021, okay? 2022. So don't get tricked by these men. We savages just like them, okay? But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. I just want y'all to know that we really appreciate it, and thanks for the comments and the engagement that y'all do on our show.
Yeah, it was a real good show. I appreciate it. I like talking to both of y'all, everybody, even though I talk to them all the time. This is a pretty good show. I like when we get intense like that. I want y'all to know I'm not done with y'all. I hope later one day we bring y'all back. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you on whatever you on. I ain't done arguing with you. And men, I held it down for us. I didn't get scared. They tried to back me down, but I held my ground. We were kind of in the corner. I think his wife was sitting close to him, and he didn't want to help jump in at the right time. But I did it for us, y'all. I take the bullets for it.
Hey, you held it down. The women, held it down. Yeah, I was more just, you know, watching y'all and observing, and it was like a proud moment for me on the Don't Get Tricked podcast, you know, because sometimes I feel like I gotta, you know, step up in moments, and I felt like y'all stepped up, Drea stepped up, Sherri stepped up, Show stepped up, and I appreciate all y'all. Sherri, we'd love to have you back because obviously this conversation needs to continue even more, and me and you, we could get together offline at some point and do that. And also, like I said, if we appreciate having you on the Don't Get Tricked podcast. We appreciate everyone for tuning in on YouTube and Facebook Live to the Don't Get Tricked podcast, and we love the feedback we've been getting all night over this last hour, and continue to watch the show. It will be available on air on YouTube pretty much, I think, soon as this is done. So like I said, thanks for being a part of the Don't Get Tricked podcast. And on behalf of myself and my staff at the Don't Get Tricked podcast and Jack, thank you, Drea, thank you, Show, thank you, Sherri. And with that, remember, don't get tricked. We out. Peace.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.